On 5th December last year, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union called for a nationwide strike after attempts to engage the government on a variety of issues had failed. Among the issues that we had raised included poor health infrastructure and funding, inadequate supplies of pharmaceutical and non-pharmaceutical supplies in health facilities, inadequate staff and equipment at health facilities, limited training opportunities and lack of compensation for doctors undergoing specialist training, poor management of health facilities and the health sector in general, and poor remuneration for doctors in public service. After 1 week, a return to work formula was signed between the union and the government on 12 December 2011. The formula provided for, among other things, the formation of a task force to address the long-term problems in the health sector, that is the MSIMI Task Force report, formation of a negotiating team for the collective bargaining agreement, and initiation of negotiations within 7 days, recruitment of 200 doctors, promotion of doctors whose promotions had been stagnated for quite a long time, and payment of fees for doctors undergoing specialist training in the universities. It also included payment of coal and extraneous alliance of up to Kenya shillings 30,000 and 40,000 respectively. 9 months since the agreement was signed, none of the items has been implemented fully, as witnessed by, although the task force, MSIMI Task Force completed its work and handed its report in February 2012, little has been done to implement the recommendations of the task force report. This include payment of doctors undergoing specialist training, commonly known as registrars, revamping of the healthcare infrastructure, increasing of the health budget gradually towards the Abuja Declaration target, and formation of a health service commission. After delays in initiating negotiations for a CBA, the government finally suspended the same collective bargaining process. Only 57 doctors have been recruited, although funds were set aside to hire 200 doctors. Also, monies released for payment of training fees for doctors have mysteriously gone missing, allegedly used to pay institutions at which doctors do not train as specialists. The coal and extraneous alliance was also selectively paid, with many doctors in public institutions missing out, including universities, research institutions, programs, and even within the ministries of health. Further, some members of the union were sacked, and as a result of the industrial action, and are yet to be reinstated, despite a clear non-victimization clause in the return to work formula. One prime example here is Dr. Onyimbo Kerama, who is still waiting to be reinstated to public service and who serves as a member of the National Executive Council. Further, some members of the union were sacked as a result of the industrial action, are yet to be reinstated. As a result of these willful omissions, KMPDU issued a 21-day strike notice to the government with the aim of giving more time for negotiations to end the current stalemate. These 21 days lapse today at midnight, when all our members in the country will proceed on a strike so as to compel the government to fully implement the return to work formula. It's important to note that for more than 9 months, the union has tried to negotiate with the government to implement the return to work formula in vain to date. And since we gave 21 days strike notice, we are yet to meet any government official to end this stalemate. We take this indifference as a sign that the government does not care about the health of Mwananchi, despite this right being entrenched in our constitution. It is worth noting that senior government officials, including the 2 ministers in the ministries of health, regularly seek health services outside the country using taxpayers' money, a luxury that most Kenyans cannot afford. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been twisted to go on strike despite our best efforts to avert this nationwide strike. Poor leadership leading to poor policies and intimidation of our members has only made the situation worse. It is not business as usual from today midnight. All our KMPDU members countrywide will proceed on strike to push the government to implement the following: full implementation of the MSIMI Task Force report, including the report on compensation of doctors undergoing specialist training, the registrars; full implementation of the return to work formula, both in letter and spirit; progress towards a constitutional amendment to entrench the Health Service Commission in the Constitution; finally, reinstatement of victimized doctors, including Dr. Onyimbo Kerama; It's our sincere hope as a union that the government will break the silence and address the above-mentioned issues conclusively. Maybe just to clarify, this strike is not about, we are not asking for any pay rise. We are basically asking the government just to do two things. Basically implement the return to work formula that we signed last year and pay the registrars in Kenyatta, Mathare, and MTRH. So we are not asking for any pay rise for now, but if we are pushed further, then those issues might have to come in.